Hey, this is Ryan from Web Eminence. If you're looking for an easy way to build a WordPress site, you may have already stumbled on drag and drop themes that allow you to visually build pages without messing with too much code. There are a bunch of drag and drop themes and builders out there like Visual Composer, which is probably one of the most popular. I'm going to show you the Divi theme and builder today. It's actually a builder and a theme, but I'm focused on the Divi theme in this video. It was released around late 2013, I believe, and I've been using it since then and have built well over 100 sites with it. It's gone through a ton of updates since then. I'm going to show you the 8 things I love about the Divi theme. So the first thing that I love about the Divi theme is the elegant look. Obviously, when we're looking at design themes, the look of the final product is pretty important. Divi theme is developed by Elegant Themes, so it makes sense that it would look elegant. I started using themes from Elegant Themes back in 2011, maybe 2010, before Divi theme was even released, and their elegant designs and really clean designs are kind of what hooked me on their themes. And then obviously I got introduced to Divi theme in 2013 when they released it. So I love the simple and elegant look that the Divi theme produces. And I'll just show you a couple of their demos on their sales page just to kind of give you an idea. And on their site, of course, they're showcasing some of the more modern and edgy designs that you can do with the Divi theme, but you can definitely build more simple designs, and most of the sites that I've built over the last few years have been a lot more simple than some of these demos that kind of give you an idea of what it can do. So it's not only elegant on the front end, the public site that I'm showing you here in the demos, but the next thing I love about the Divi theme is that it's also simple and elegant on the back end where you actually build the site within WordPress. So I'll take you into a WordPress dashboard where Divi is installed, and if I were to go to add new page, I can show you the Divi builder in action. You'll notice it's pretty fast too, which a lot of builders may have had experience with. They can get kind of slow. So you can see everything's pretty clean. It's easy and fast to navigate, and all the items are just spaced nicely in large text, and all the options within the different modules are well organized with a lot of space, so you don't get overwhelmed with all the options. So the elegant look is really the first thing that I love about the Divi theme, but it's in the front end of the site and the back end that I just showed you. So the second thing that I love about the Divi theme is the small number of modules that are actually available, and that might sound kind of weird to a lot of people. I mean, if you're using a builder, you usually want to have a ton of options for adding elements to your website, and most people do, and I kind of like that sometimes too. But one of the things I love about the Divi builder is that it's super simple. These are all of the options you have for inserting content modules into the site. It looks like there's less than 40 here, and to some people, like I said, it might seem like not enough options, but I've built over 100 sites, and yeah, the sites I build are pretty basic, but I've probably used less than 10 of these on a regular basis. But it just gives you all the basic things you need without bogging you down with like a million different modules that really you're not going to use and are probably just going to paralyze a lot of people, especially beginners to WordPress, who are trying to build a site and are just overwhelmed by all the options. So I love the simplicity and that they only give you a limited number of modules to add to the site. And the lower number of modules compared to some other visual builders is probably what keeps it running fast. Another thing that keeps it running fast is actually the next thing I love about the Divi theme, and that's that it's very lightweight in terms of plugins. It actually requires no other plugins. If you were to install a lot of different themes with Visual Composer as the builder, you'll have a lot of required plugins usually, and sometimes more than 5, that you need to install in order for the theme to function. Sometimes it's a contact form, maybe a slider that you need to add. With Divi theme, after it's installed, this is usually what your WordPress dashboard is going to look like unless you've installed other plugins already. So all it adds to your menu on the left is this Divi menu right here. There's no other plugins required. It has a slider built in. It actually has a basic contact form built in, so you don't even need to add a contact form plugin if you don't want to. You might need one if you really need to add something custom in terms of a form, but it gives you a lot of options in the form of a contact form module. And I know plugins are one of the great things about WordPress, the expandability of it, but if you install a theme and then you need to install 5 plugins, you might have to pay for them over time to keep them updated, and then you're just going to run into more security issues over time and needing to update plugins. And if one of them ever goes out of business or is no longer supported, you might have issues if you've built a bunch of sites with that theme or plugin. So the nice thing about Divi is it's all contained in one theme, and so you only need to rely on one company for support. The next thing I love about the Divi theme is the visual builder, and this is pretty key, and actually was introduced just probably in the last year or two, and they've updated it a lot in the last year to improve it. So this here is the default Divi builder, where you can kind of have a wireframe view and drag things around, and then you click this icon to edit the options of a module. So this is the way I built sites in Divi for the first few years, and I still use it a lot. But one of my new favorite things is the visual builder. And other builders have had visual builders that I've tried, like Visual Composer, but it's always been really slow. One of the great things about this one is it loads really fast and it's really easy to use. I'm going to actually go over to a page that has some more content so you can get a quick look at the visual builder. You can see it only takes a few seconds to load. And the nice thing about it too, as opposed to other visual builders I've seen, is that it actually looks like the site. A lot of times the visual builder view is just kind of messed up, but if I scroll over these different sections, you'll see this is a section, these green areas are rows, and then gray is a module, so it's the same color scheme as we were seeing on the wireframe builder. So I can drag any of these items around. I can double click on them or just click this gear icon to change their settings. I can move these and resize these setting panels so I can work easily and see things that I'm changing. I can also just edit text right on the fly. Gives you these text, basic text editing functions, but you can just type right in there. So it's a pretty powerful way to edit a site in WordPress without needing to use the visual builder, the wireframe version, to save changes and then preview and then go back. So this actually really speeds up the workflow in making edits or even building a site from scratch. So the next thing I love about Divi is the buttons and the ability to edit buttons. Everybody loves buttons on websites, and when you're designing a site, you want to have easy ways to create cool buttons that can change in color and look. A lot of times you're going to need to add another plugin or use shortcodes to create buttons, but Divi gives you great options for editing buttons and making them look great on your site. So you can see this page, I'm still in the visual builder, and I have these buttons here. And just to give you an idea of what you can do with buttons, I'm going to click on this one. And again, I can move this editing panel over and just make changes on the fly while I'm seeing the visual change. So I can change the text here, but I want to click on design, change some things about the design. I can change the alignment. I can just change text from dark to light. This one's using a style that we changed to orange, I believe. So there's default button styles I can change, which I'll show you later. This one's been customized, so I can change the text size. I can change the button text color. I can change the button background color, the border width, border radius to make it more rounded, letter spacing. I can change the font of the button. I can turn icons on and off, so they give you all these preset icons in there. And this icon is showing on hover only. There's a bunch of icons. I can change the button icon color, the placement. I can have it show all the time, not just on hover. Hover background color can change. So again, as I'm making these changes, you see them. I can just roll over it, hover over it to see the change live. And I can change other elements of the button on hover. I'm not going to show you all those. Then there's spacing, animation, and then there's a bunch of animations you can add. You can see all the options here, and then there's some settings for the animations underneath. So I won't get into all those. And then there's some advanced settings where you can customize CSS and some other things. So you'll be able to add some cool buttons to your site and customize them to your heart's content without adding any other button plugins or shortcodes. Alright, the next thing I love about the Divi theme is the theme customizer, and you'll have this in some form on every theme you use in WordPress. I'm going to discard the changes from the visual builder. So yeah, you'll have this theme customizer in every theme you use in WordPress. It's a core function of WordPress, but it's customized depending on the theme. And in the Divi theme, they've done a nice job of giving us a lot of control over some important items or elements within the theme. So just by going through some of these settings in the theme customizer, you're going to really be able to change the look of your site. One place I spend a lot of time on every theme, or sometime in the beginning, is just the typography settings. So they give me all these settings to change the text size, header text, and then the header font, link colors, text colors. So just by going through these few changes here, you're going to change the look of your site in a few minutes. You're able to preview it on different size screens to see the responsiveness of your site and the different looks on different size screens. So I definitely go through there. Layout settings, I can change from boxed layout to full width. Can change some basic widths like the content width, the gutter width. The header is an important part of the Divi theme where I always spend some time because there's a few different header styles that I'll show you, and I'll need to go back to a regular page to show you this. Okay, so back on a normal page with a normal header here, I can show you a centered look, which is just logo with menu underneath, centered inline logo, slide in, which is like a menu on the side here. It's pretty cool. And then a full screen menu, which is a full screen menu like this that can then be closed. So going back to that header navigation menu, I can mess with the primary menu bar. So that's this up here. I can change the menu height, I can change the size of the logo. Just from moving these sliders, I can change the text size, letter spacing, the font, the color, link colors of the menu, background color. So you can, just with a few minutes spent in this settings panel here, you can change the look of the top header of your site. Secondary menu bar is this orange bar at the top, so you can change some settings in there, change what header elements are shown up there. They have social icons built in. So yeah, just gives you an idea of all the changes you can make in the customizer, and I just showed you the first two, but those are the ones I probably spend the most time in. Here's where I mentioned earlier you could change the default look of buttons on your site. So just by changing it here, it's going to change buttons throughout your site, and then you could customize each one the way I did just a few minutes ago. So that is the theme customizer. The next thing that I love about the Divi theme is the Divi Library, and this is something that Divi does really well, and I've noticed other themes kind of fall short, at least other theme builders. I mean, in Visual Composer is the other one I've used probably the most compared to Divi. I've used Divi the most, I should say, but second place would be Visual Composer. I've used that on several sites as well, and I like Visual Composer, but I find it a little bit frustrating in duplicating modules and copying things from pages to pages, but Divi does that really well. So the way it works with Divi is use a library, and I can actually save any of these elements to the library. So I can save a section, which is this blue area. I can save a row, or I can save a module to the Divi library, or I can save this entire layout to the library. So I would give it a name. If I wanted to save this slider, I could click on it and then click this blue button to save it to the library. Just call it test. Another cool part of the Divi library is I can make any element that I save global. So I can add it to different pages, and a global item, if changed in one place, will be changed everywhere. So if you have maybe something you want to have on the bottom of your site, maybe like a call to action element, you could add it to every page, make it a global library item. Then if you need to change anything, you change it on one of them, update it, and it changes everywhere that global item is used. And if an item is made global, it turns a different color, like this lime green color. So you'll know that it's global, and then I can add it somewhere else by clicking Insert Module, Add from Library, and I'll see that global item there. Once an item is saved in your library, no matter what kind of item it is, you can go to the Divi menu, go to Divi Library. I'm gonna exit without saving, and you can see all the items that you've saved. So here's that test module I saved. I could then go into it, edit it. So if this was a global item that I've been using all throughout my site, I could just change it here, update it, and then it would be updated everywhere. Going back to the library, you see I've saved layouts, I've saved sections and rows. This is a great way to speed up the building of sites and the editing of sites in the future using global modules. So that's a really great feature of the Divi theme, and one that has saved me a ton of time. So no matter what theme you get, you're probably going to run into snags along the way, and you're going to need support. You can probably read reviews to get an idea of what type of support is offered by different companies, but I have found the Elegant Themes support to be pretty excellent. And all of the support happens in the members area in a forum, and the Divi community has grown. There's so many people using it that typically if I have a question about something that I can't figure out in the Divi theme, I usually just search for it in the forum, and there's typically someone else who's already asked the question and had it answered. There's a pretty good team of Elegant Theme support who will either answer the question, show you how to fix it right here, or they'll actually use their support plugin to log into your site and do whatever changes are needed for you. Another benefit of the Divi community growing and being so large at this point is that there's a number of people, third parties, who are developing layouts for Divi theme you can use. I honestly haven't used them too much, but there have been times where I've needed maybe a little bit of customization that's not part of the core Divi theme, but I can often find it in the Elegant Themes blog. They do a lot of posts in the blog that are focused on Divi, and they actually have this entire Divi resources category of the blog where you'll find different layouts you can use, just some guides for customizing modules in different ways. There's a bunch of extra Divi plugins that are typically from third parties that are introduced in here. So lots of great information from Elegant Themes, but there's other developers out there who've created plugins. If you were to search WordPress plugin directory for Divi plugins, you'll find a bunch. I haven't used too many, but they are out there if you need to customize Divi further. So those are 8 things I love about the Divi theme. There's obviously a lot more to it than that. You can check out their sales page. Click on the link below the video if you'd like to go over to their sales page. That is an affiliate link of mine, but I'd appreciate if you click on that link because it helps me to continue to do these videos. Speaking of purchasing from them, so when you head over to their site, you'll find their pricing. The way it works is you can become a member and pay yearly for access to all of their themes and plugins. They have some pretty good social plugins that you can use. So if I were to click join to download, you see it's currently $89 per year for access to all themes and all plugins, and then you get support. Looks like you can use it on unlimited websites as well. You can also pay $250 for lifetime access. So head over to their site, check out Divi. They have a few other themes that you would get included in the price. Extra is a magazine theme that works similar to Divi, but it's a little bit different. And they have a bunch of other themes too, but most of their focus in development has been going into the Divi theme. So let me know your thoughts, comment on the video, let me know what you love about the Divi theme. If you've been using it, let me know what some of your favorite visual builders are in WordPress if you're using different ones, and maybe what you like about them. I do plan on reviewing some of the other visual builders out there, like Visual Composer and some of the other ones out there that are more popular, just so people can get an idea of how they compare to Divi. Divi is definitely my favorite. I'm biased. I've been using it since 2014. So make sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of these future videos I plan on creating on visual builders. I do have a whole WordPress section, a playlist on my channel, so you can go ahead and click on that. I'll actually link to that at the end of the video. You can check out more videos on WordPress. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.